To this webinar about our IDC Collab maturity model. This is the English session. I will be doing a Portuguese and a Spanish version in the afternoon of Lisbon time. So a couple of introductory notes and what are we seeing here on the screen, and also just a first disclaimer. I'm doing this webinar from my house, so please apologize if you hear my big dogs barking. Hopefully they will not do it, but please bear with me. What are we seeing here? This is a web page. The webinar is available, sorry, the maturity model is available in these 3 languages. We have it available in Spanish, in English, and in Portuguese, Brazil. The link, the URL that you see here is the URL that you, our partners, should use if you want to distribute this to your prospect customers, to your installed base. And just a comment on the way this URL is composed. So as you can see, there is a first part that is IDC, the x.pt/collab, and then the language. This works by itself, okay? This first part of the URL is fully functional. The reason why we add this and Collab equals to, and you have to put your company here, is in case you want to do a marketing campaign with this webinar, with this maturity model, the only way we can map the results of your customers' responses with your geography and your company name is if you use this parameter here, okay? So let me say this again. You should ideally copy this URL and replace this where it says your company here, replace with the name of your company. This way, all the responses that we have, we will immediately forward them to you with a complete analysis of the response. If you don't add this, there is absolutely no problem. Everything works just fine, but we will not be able to tell which partner forward this to its end customer. So for the end customer, the experience will be just fine. We will receive a copy of the response. By geography, we might be able to map it out to the corresponding partner. But if it's a geography where we have many partners, and if you don't have this parameter here, I will have to forward the responses to different partners, okay? Let me just check the session, yeah, the chat, yeah, okay. Let me copy and paste the URL here. Someone is asking me. Okay. Okay, I will paste this into the chat session. Yep, here we are. So please replace your company here with the name of your company. Okay, so let's start. First of all, who is IDC? So IDC is positioned as a global market intelligence company. They are leaders in market intelligence. Basically, they study trends, they study the market. They are strong in some geographies with very solid indicators, both in terms of growth, of market shares, of technological trends. We have been approached by IDC in order to create what's called a maturity model, which is based in 5 pillars, okay? So the way we are going to assess the level of maturity of an organization is based on these 5 dimensions. The first is omnichannel, the way a company can continue a conversation independently of the channel being used. The second is customer knowledge. The third, the ability to create seamless customer journeys. The way operations are properly mapped into this, and how ready is the company for the cloud, okay? So these 5 dimensions will be based on a survey. The survey starts here. And how does this work? So basically, the moment you start, and I will be guiding you through this, first of all, you will have an email registration, okay? So you have the ability to validate your email address. The moment the email is validated, you'll be taken to a survey, which covers these 5 dimensions. In the end of the survey, the customer receives a fully detailed report with the way his company is positioned according to these 5 pillars relatively to the other players in the market, okay, to other companies. You'll be seeing the results soon. Also, you as our partner will be able to receive this as a lead. Okay, so you will be receiving the responses that this customer gave, and this is a qualified lead that you can immediately act upon. Okay, Collab will be present in IDC during the whole process. We will support you. We will give you the answers, and we will give you this as a qualified lead. So let's see how this works, and let's start here. Okay. So first step of the survey is the profile. As you can see, you have here a map of what's following. I'm going to fill up my name as a company. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to put my email address at Collab. Let's call this company as Collab Testing. Okay, it's not our real company, just for testing purposes. And I could put my phone number here just for this. Now I have to agree with this privacy policy. Okay, and the moment I agree, I have a Start Here button. Just a note, my email is already validated, so I will not go through the step of validating the email. But if you try this out with a new email, you will be taken to a page to validate the email, and absolutely no problem about that. Okay. So this is let's say the first part of the actual survey with questions. Let me just check here if someone has asked me anything in the chat. No, everything is cool. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so the first is the description of your role in the customer experience and in the organization. Okay, so which of the following best describes the business model of your company? We are a B2B company. Okay. We could be a mix of both, but for purpose of this survey, I'm going to write this as B2B. Now, on a scale of 1 to 5, what is the role of customer experience in your current business model? I would say a 4. Okay, 1 not important, 5 absolutely important. How ready is your contact center to support these priorities? Again, a 4. And who are your contact centers serving today? Well, they are serving business customers. Okay, what are the main challenges that your company is facing around contact center? Well, cost is always an issue. I will also consider maybe innovation, and maybe I could specify other related to, for instance, I could write GDPR. Okay. Which of the following best describes your organization's investment strategy? Are you a pragmatic, a strategic, or a transformative? And there's a little bit of detail. Well, I consider us as strategic. We focus on the strategic investments to meet our business objectives. We are not leaders of the pack in this sample where I'm giving. Okay, and how does senior management perceive the role? Is it a necessary cost, or is it more than that? Is it an important asset or a strategic tool? Let's say it's a necessary cost. Okay, cool. Now we enter the first pillar, okay, which is omnichannel experience. Okay, now, when answering this, we are in the background, we are generating the report automatically, okay? So by the end of the survey, you will see a fully detailed report based not only on my answers, but also on recommendations and how does this compare with the rest of the pack. So which channels can customers use to contact your organization? Email, yes. SMS, yes. Phone call, yes. Web chat, yes. Video, no, not yet. Third-party messaging, no, but I'm planning. Social networks, no, but I'm planning. And native mobile, the same, I'm planning. Okay, cool. When a customer reaches an agent, can he see the information on the previous interactions? Well, I wish that was possible. Let's say none at all at the moment. Okay, cool. Next. Now we are stepping into pillar number 2, which is about customer knowledge. Okay, now, what resources are you currently using to get information about your customers? Okay, so where do you extract data from? Internal departments, yeah, I'm getting data from there. From the contact center, of course. Third party, no. Interactions with branches and stores, yes. And feedback by the sales field force, yeah, it's not integrated. So let's say no, and feedback by delivery, the same, okay? So again, I'm just answering as a sample company. How well integrated is your contact center with CRMs? Okay, we plan to integrate it in the upcoming months. Okay, so this is an area we'd like to invest on. Cool. What kind of information are available to your agents about the customers. Okay. Do you have basic billing? Yes. So when a call comes in, I know the billing status of that customer. Do I have some social demographic data? No, maybe soon. And what about the history of previous interactions? Yeah, sure, I have that. And what about the media posts that this customer made? No, I don't have any plans. And what about the customer needs and preferences? Yeah, I would like to have that, maybe soon. Okay. Cool. So this is pillar number 2, and now we are entering pillar number 3, customer journey. Okay, so this is a very important part. Be aware, and let me just comment also here. This is not a Collab survey, okay? This is an IDC survey based on their experience. This does not map exactly on our product offering, and I'm glad it doesn't. This was made by IDC, but of course, we plan to generate leads that map on our portfolio and on the portfolio of our partners, okay? So the way we map this area here, we try to map not only on our existing portfolio, but also on areas where we are investing on, okay? So do you use the following self-service options? So this is about self-service. Classical IVR? Yes. Visual IVR? No, not yet. Web-based like FAQs, Wikipedias, etc.? No. Speech recognition? No, but I have plans to. AI? No, but I have plans to. And there's a difference between guiding the customer and providing the customer solution, okay? So the first is, are we using any kind of bot to guide this customer to the solution? No. Are we using any kind of bot to actually provide automatically the solution? Not yet, okay? Again, this is IDC model. Does your company make proactive suggestions to the customer, okay? And if so, what are they based on? Yes, we are making proactive suggestions based on the information that they said during the interaction, not on the billing and not on the social networks profile, but yeah, partly on the individual profiles that it does. So let me say yes here, okay? Cool. Now, how easy is it for you to implement changes in this customer journey? We can implement changes, but we need our IT department to be involved. So this is the answer that I'm choosing. Okay. Next. Cool. So we are almost in the end. Operations. Now, which of the following kinds of analyses are you using to evaluate? Okay. So this is about monitoring, evaluation, reporting. Okay, customer complaint management. Yes, we do a kind of NPS, let me say here, yes. Follow-up surveys. Yes, we also do this. Analytics based on interaction data, such as first call resolution. Yes, I'm also doing this. And what about sentiment analytics? Okay, this is an area for you guys that have been in our event, an area that Collab is investing heavily. So let's say no, but I'm planning to. What about real-time analytics based on sentiment? So the difference is this one is post-call or post-interaction, and this one is real-time. Yes, I wish I had this. Okay, cool. What about Six Sigma in those continuous improvement processes, such as integrating e-learning? I have no plans for this yet. Okay, cool. Now, how are you motivating your agents to make the best use of their competencies? Do you have agents working from home? No, but I'm planning to. Do you use any kind of coaching techniques? Let's say yes. Yes, we do some recordings and then we follow up using quality monitoring. Do you map the agent's skills with knowledge management? No plans. Do you use workforce optimization in order to optimize routing? I don't. Sorry, I don't. And what about to forecast? Also, I don't. What about shift trading? I also don't. Cool. Now we enter the gamification section. Do you use any kind of game-like practices? I wish I had. So any kind of customer get customer programs? No, but maybe I'm planning. What about awards for agents? No. What about internal KPIs that are mappable into games? Not yet. And finally, do you use any kind of mobile apps or web page? Sorry, but not yet. Okay. So I'm answering as a sample company, and I'm reaching the end of the survey. This is the last section. It's about cloud readiness. Okay. So let's say that this sample company that I'm replying here is still on a legacy infrastructure, considering the migration to a fully cloud-based contact center, and let's give some answers based on that. So how difficult is it for you to meet the following requirements? Can you scale up and down? Yeah, I have a couple of licenses. I can scale up and down up to a certain point. So let's say that it's challenging, but about achievable. Do you have a single policy across all locations? The same. What about the speed of innovation? Do you cope with this? We struggle a little bit, let's say here. Okay, can you leverage external information coming in from other systems like IoT and location-based of your customers? Not yet. And do you have any kind of mobile applications? Yeah, we have some. So let's say here we do some of this. Okay, cool. How do you plan to use the resources that the cloud offers you, such as SaaS, for instance, for gamification, or forever for these kinds of quality monitoring, real-time analytics, whatever? How do you plan to use them? We actually have some plans. We are using the cloud to cover additional sites. We are using cloud to add functionalities. Let's say this: we are using the cloud to add functionalities to our existing contact center systems. Okay, cool. And now this is the final demographics. This is an important section that allows us to characterize the lead and to help you partners to have some more refined information. So which country are you located? I'm in the Bahamas. Let's say where are the Bahamas? Right here. It's a cool place. What is your role within the organization? I'm a VP or head of IT. Cool. And now, which of the following best describes your involvement? Mine. I'm somewhat involved in the decision maker. I'm not a highly knowledgeable influencer. Okay, cool. So how many people does your company employ worldwide? Fewer than 500. And finally, which of the following best describes your company's primary business model? So we are a transporter. In this example, we do air transport, okay? Okay, cool. So what happens when I click the finish button? Three things will happen. The first, when I press this button, I will immediately receive here on this web page the report based on my answers. The second thing that will happen is I will receive an email in my mailbox, the email that I've written, with a PDF copy of the report. And the third thing that happens is that Collab, we and the partner, we will receive a copy of your response. So let me check the mailbox here and do a send and receive. Okay, so what we see here is that this email was sent to the customer. Okay, in this case, it was my email because I've used my email. Thank you for your participation. Your form has been successfully submitted, and check your results here. And at the same time, the web page has refreshed, and you see, thank you for participation. Your form is submitted. See results. So these two buttons, either this link or this button, they lead to the same page. Let me click here. See results. So what you are seeing now is an immediate report that was generated based on my answers. I will copy and paste this link into the chat so that you guys can also take a look yourself. I'm sorry, all panelists and attendees. So first, let me type again the URL. I think I didn't send to anyone. The URL that you guys can use. And now I'm going to send the responses here. Responses are here, and let me copy this to the chat session so that you guys can also take a look at the copy of this. So this is a 9-page report. I'm going to browse through. So this was sent to Carlos Vasconcelos from company Collab Testing, and this is the email address that I've filled in. Okay, now let's take a look on the way that this report is compiled. It says here that our recommendations below are based on IDC's knowledge and continuous monitoring on the market. And basically, they say that companies are organized into 3 different stages. you are either a follower, a generalist, or a leader. And now we are going to evaluate your organization based on the responses submitted, okay? So as you can remember, I've responded, let's say, conservatively to some of the questions. So my global score is that I'm a follower. I'm not that well positioned. And now we can take a look at the 5 pillars and see how do I rank in each of the pillars, okay? Omnichannel, customer knowledge, etc. And then I have a detailed set of responses and recommendations for each of the sections. For instance, for Omnichannel, what does it say here? That it's imperative for successful customer care today to allow customers to select the best way to approach. And blah, blah, blah. And then based on your responses, we see your organization as a follower. And here is more detail. You are relatively on par with most competitors in terms of the number of options offered. Nevertheless, you should make sure that you're not missing any options. And then it says something like mobile applications, location-based service, maybe video and augmented reality, some of the suggestions. Also here on the channel integration, some more suggestions. So if we continue down, you will see that this detailed set of responses is applicable to all the areas. Let's see what someone is asking me. Okay, we have a question here. If you guys can co-brand the survey. Yes, you can. Let me just go to the end and then I will completely answer this question, okay? For instance, you remember the gamification? I said that I didn't have gamification. So what it says here is that gamification is a way to involve, and it gives me some recommendations on this area. So all of these responses are being compiled and generated in real time based on what you answered in the survey, okay? So this is a completely customized set of answers. It's not standard for everyone. If you take it back and you answer different combinations, you will see a different survey. Before answering the question that Thanasis has asked me, let me just go back to my inbox and open the internal report. Now, what is this internal report? If you remember, and going back to the beginning, I advised you to, when typing the URL, to put your partner organization here. So let me just copy this back. Okay. Here, let me put it back here, okay? So the reason why it's important for you guys to type your company here is that we will receive another email, which is this second one, the internal report. And when I open this internal email, it says the name of the person that answered the email, the company, and I have your company here. So for instance, if it's picking up Mercuris from Greece, if I have your company listed here as Intrasoft, then I would be able to immediately forward this internal report to you. This is different than the one I just showed you. This is actually a copy of the answers, okay? So this is not the benchmarking. This is actually a full copy of what the customer has answered in each of the questions. So this is, I would say, an interesting way for you guys to determine which pinpoint areas you should. For instance, here it says that it does not have any speech recognition, but he's planning to in the next 12 months, also AI. So you could immediately, for instance, schedule a demonstration of our sentiment analysis tool that could be a match for his upcoming needs, okay? So it's very important that you guys give us your company here filled out. Now, going back to the question that Mercury has placed, if you guys can co-brand. The answer is yes, but there is a cost, okay? Depending on volume, either the cost is very low. So imagine that we have 10 partners wishing to co-brand this. I would say that the cost would be relatively low. If it's just one, I think the cost is higher. I don't have the cost right now, but the survey was prepared to be white label. not white label, but co-branded. Okay. So what I want to know is, after the end of the webinars, if you guys could come back to me and say, I am interested in using this model. The model is ready, it's free of charge, and I am interested in putting my logo there. I could go to IDC, because IDC owns the full model. I could go to IDC and say, I have 10 partners wishing to co-brand this. What is the cost? If it's a very low cost, Collab will assume it. If it's something that is out of proportion, we will discuss it with our partners and with you. The information that I got is that it's a very simple co-branding. The question is, it's not, maybe you are not only interested in co-branding it, but also in maybe taking this into your own website, okay? And this can be the tricky part. If you want to use the IDC slash Collab, and then just have maybe based on the arguments that you pass here, just your logo, this is a very simple approach. If you want to completely take this survey into your web page and integrate it into your website, we are proud that you want to do that, but of course that might represent a higher cost, because I think they have to do another instance of the survey. Okay, I don't know if there are any further questions. Let me check here the chat. Yeah, I have a couple of questions here. Can we also get the report that the lead got? Yes, absolutely. So the moment I get an answer from someone, I will forward to the partner the two reports. I will forward the report that was generated based on generalist, follower, and leader. The customer has also received that, so I will give you a copy of that, and also I will give you a copy of all the detailed answers that customer gave. Okay, so absolutely, you have access to the two reports. I have here another question from Mohit. What is the blue line in the score graph? So let me open the score graph. Okay, okay, and let me put the question here. Is it a recommendation how it's calculated by IDC? It's showing the 51. Yeah, the blue line for IDC is what they call the zero line. Okay, so this is the minimum recommended by IDC. If you have an answer below 51, you are clearly behind the pack. Okay, what they consider the average. If you have an answer above 51, equal or above to 51, then you are better than the average set of the pack. Okay, so this is their let's say baseline for a minimum customer experience success. Okay, it's like the zero, and below the blue line you are negative, and on the right side you are positive. Okay, yep. Do you have any other questions? A question if this is fully available? Yes, this is fully available. I would like to ask you if you can do a previous test, okay, before, of course, sending it out massively to the market. We have done some internal testing ourselves, but if you guys can do some testing, we will be working, me and my team, we will be working with you and giving you all the support, any doubts that you have, and all the answers. We'll be forwarding the answers to you. Also, bear in mind that by default, I think the survey goes to the Portuguese page by default. So it's important that you select the language at first, because once you start the survey, you cannot change the language during the survey. So the first thing to do is select the language. Of course, you can come back to the beginning, get another email for authentication, and restart the process. Okay, but this is yeah. We also have a video explaining this. We can also give you access to this video. Let me just show you our YouTube channel. We actually sent the video in the emails. So this is our YouTube channel. If you guys wish to have this video in your website, you can perfectly use. We can also help you and edit the video, maybe put your logo. This video explains the concept. We can also trim it out. I usually start explaining this video from second 50, which actually is the survey itself. And this is just a small guided tour from what we have just seen. The 5 pillars, and then the explanation that once you start filling it out, it's immediate, okay? You don't have to wait for a couple of days or wait for a customer service representative to call you, whatever, okay? It's an immediate, and I think this is the interesting part, is that you get an immediate executive report and that you can compare yourself with the benchmark. Also, for our partners, I think this is a cool way for you guys to compare how the different organizations are positioned. So, for instance, if you are, let's say, in an exploratory meeting, and you can bring the survey to the meeting, and instead of asking a set of questions that you might have prepared, you can ask your customer, your prospect customer, hey, do you want to fill out a survey here with me? We will get an immediate response, and we will see how your company compares with others that I've already brought here. And then you can maybe have one or two of these reports printed out, and you see and you show how these companies actually compare. Okay. So I think the way to benchmark organizations is also a cool thing. And yep, we are up. I scheduled around 30 minutes for this webinar. I think the concept has been explained. Let me just also copy and paste the URL for the video for you guys to use. Let me paste this into the chat session as well. Here we are. Okay. And this is our video that you guys can also reuse, and I'm happy to help you co-brand the video. So thank you very much. I hope this has been a profitable session for you, and I will be sending out the recording and all the links. My colleagues from the marketing team, we will be sending you a very nice email with everything in there for you guys to use. Thank you, and have a great day. Thank you.